Interactive Brokers has launched their new advanced charting tool. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through all the new changes and highlight the important features that you can apply for your own trading. So in order to open up an advanced chart, we need to go to New Window, go down to Chart right there and click on Advanced Chart. And this will open up a new advanced chart layout showing you a candlestick chart most likely and a volume area at the bottom. Don't worry if it doesn't show exactly like this for you. We're going to customize this in a second. So from here, the layout tab in the top left, the first thing we're going to change is the day and show you to do this. Day right now means that every candlestick that you see represents 1 day of trading. You can change this and it's very similar to the old chart down to 1 week. So the candlestick will just reflect 1 week now of trading. You can see on the very bottom there, it's changing as we move forward. You can change it to 1 month. You can change it to whatever time interval you want to do so. Let's go back to 1 day to keep it simple. Next, we have the ability to change from candlesticks to bars, to hollow candles, to everything we want to change to. Line if you're a very simple trader like that, nothing wrong with that. And we'll go back to candlesticks. That's how you do that with that second line right there. Next up, you can add your indicators here at the FX indicator area. This is very similar to the old chart as well. You can search in here for things like Bollinger Bands, click to add those on. Click again, and you can go ahead and go moving average just to add a couple that are most similar. And then to customize these, you would just go into the settings here with the little gear icons and go customize with this little screen in here. You can change the length there for your moving average. You can change the source, the smoothing line, the smoothing default, and the styles are now going to change the actual colors and attributes that you're going to see on the screen. Let's make it yellow there. You can see that it pops. You can change the line style if you want to. And then of course you can change if you want to have a label on it or not. If you look to the right of the chart, you can see the label goes on and off, the yellow one right there. And visibility, you can change it by turning it on different kind of time intervals here for when it's going to show up. It'll come on and off. To take these off, there's a couple ways to do it. You can click on the X right there. That's going to take it off. You can also go to your trash can down here and go remove. And you can remove 2 indicators and you can take them off that way as well. And they'll all pop up. That took the volume back there as well. So let's go back to the indicators and just go VOL and grab the volume right there and put that back on. That's indicators. Now, if you want to have indicator templates, or say you add a couple indicators again, we'll go back and add the same ones we had before. When doing this, you maybe want to have this saved for a current kind of setup for your trading. If you want to have a certain way to trade, you can go to this little 4 dot icon up here and you can save your indicator template. So this dialog box is going to pop up then. It's going to go, let's go basic trading setup. That's going to give you your volume, your Bollinger Band, moving average from there, and just go save. Now we can delete all of these knowing full well that if we click on this little trash button and change everything off, we can go up here now and go, oh, we have a basic trading setup right there. Boom, we can load this back in and get to our trading setup very, very quickly. Moving right along up top, we have this little 24 with a clock. That is just a little note to let you trade outside of regular trading hours, RTH. If you toggle that on or off, you can see disabled, enabled. If you want to trade outside regular trading hours, make sure that is toggled on and it will allow you to submit orders outside your regular day trading hours. Next up, we've got this little floppy disk right there. For those of you who know what that is, this is going to be able to give us a chart snapshot. So what this is going to do, if I zoom in right here, let's say to this area of the chart, I'm going to just take this and go save. We're going to call this AMD snappers. And now if we go back and zoom out, or if we go to a different chart setup, let's go right here, let's move it back in time. If we go to this next folder, this little kind of folder icon, and click there, a dialog box is going to pop up. It's going to allow you to reload the AMD snappers, that snapshot you just took, and it should zoom you back to where you were looking just before when you saved it. Boom, there you go. Not quite as zoomed in, but it's going to take you back to the same time frame. The last couple buttons up here are just FAQs with this little icon right there with the question mark. It's going to be able to go in there and just ask your question, go through some advanced charting, kind of further tutorials in there if you want to. You can click this little icon right there to show powered by TradingView, which is how it's linked. And this is very similar to TradingView platform if you ever experienced it. And then you have an undo and a redo button up there as well. Now, if you want to change up the stock that you're looking at, you can go to this little guy up here and just click on someone else that's been previously saved, or you can just go and say WMT, click enter, and then click stock. And then the chart will update to the different stock that you want to go and trade based on the ticker. I'm going to remove all these indicators for the next part. And now we're going to work to turn on some features and turn off some features to show you what they mean with the chart scale. Talking about the scale here, the 170 to 144 and across the bottom. If I click this little icon in the bottom right corner, This is going to give me a whole different bunch of options right here. And what this is going to do is just give you kind of just ways to kind of fit and kind of maneuver the price on the axis there and make it a little bit different. So what you can do right here, some cool options, you can invert the scale. I'm not sure why you want to do that, but now you're going from low to high on that area. You got to click it every time, which isn't the best kind of functionality, but you can invert that scale. If we go back in here, we can go regular, we can go percent. So you're going to see percent based on where the stock price is at right there for 0, higher or above. You can go back index to 100. I'm not really sure why you use these. I just like to leave that regular and just go from there, but those options are available to you if you want to use them. You can move the scale to the left-hand side if you want to go left-hand side, strong side, like our boys in Remember the Titans. Let's go back and flip that over to the right. Flip me over to the left again. And going back in there one more time, you can go, and then this is where it gets kind of cool, the label section. So symbol, name, label, boom. Now your label's got a symbol with Walmart 150. If we go labels, last price, now the price is gone. Okay, if we go this, now we've just got a red line there showing you where the price of Walmart was. If we want to put those back on, name, label, price, it's back on. Okay, going down here a little bit further, you can have the high and low price labels as well. So you have your previous high and your previous low based on the area that your chart is zoomed into. If you zoom this out, those areas are going to kind of flare out and move. So if you want to go in like to a day trading setup, just zoom that all the way in, or change your time frame to like a 5-minute candlestick setup, and you'll be able to get the kind of the close for the day based on these high and low, right? The further you zoom in, the more this is going to move. We can also go in here and then just go indicator, name, and labels, which I'm going to turn back on for a second. And if we go back and load up our template, which you saved, good thing we have this saved, right? Now we've got all our templates and we have Bollinger Bands, we've got some moving averages there. Zooming out to the day chart will get us a better view of those. And you can see that they're nice and spaced out. If we were to kind of keep zooming in, and we do have this option down here for labels, you can have no overlapping labels. You can turn the values and the names off and on. Again, it's all just preference for what you want to see on the chart, but that's how you walk through. You can turn them on, you can turn them off, you can have them toggled. I like to leave them on just so I have an idea of what's what on my chart in terms of the lines. If you want to add a couple more things in here, you can go to the lines area. You can go high and low price lines. Previous day close line will also be on there as an option when the market's open. But just putting those lines on shows you the low and the high at the top end and the low end right there. And one more thing you want to probably have on if you're doing kind of interval trading, any kind of day trading, this countdown to bar close. It's going to show you, it's not live right now based on the market being closed, but if you're at a 5-minute chart, it's going to have a little countdown ticker here on the right side by Walmart, showing you exactly how much time's left in that interval for that candlestick. Tossing it over to the chart settings, up this gear icon in the top right hand corner. This is going to be able to allow you to manipulate your bars. You can move this menu around if you want to. Right now, the symbol is going to show you the symbols for the candlesticks that we have here. You have the body right there. If you change those up, you can see what happens. The borders, let's make these all white. So you have a white candlestick and you have black, let's say. That's pretty slick right there. You also have the ability to change the high and the low for the price lines. You can toggle them on and off as well. If you want to show them or not, it's just the little dotted lines that are showing on and off. You can make the thickness a little bit different as well if you want to thicken them up, change them, make them a little bit colorful. If you want to have that customized for some reason, you could do that. We're going to click them off right now. And then status lines. So status lines is all about this here in the top and left corner. It's showing Walmart, Walmart Inc., 1 day, smart, all that stuff. And then the open, high, low, and close. If you want to take the title off, make it very just basic on what you're trading. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I recommend keeping it on. Maybe taking the description off instead and keeping just Walmart, or just keeping the ticker by itself and keeping it at WMT to make it slick. You can take the OHLC off. You can take the bar change and put that on or off if you want to. You can see this all updating in the top left corner, and volume as well. You can put that on as if you want to. It's just personal preference, just showing you what it's there for. The indicator titles, you're able to kind of just maneuver those off and on as well. And the value is the same kind of thing, but you can also turn the background on. If you want to have a background, almost like a mask behind the words, it's going to either mask on or off, and it's going to just let the words pop a little bit more for you there if you have the mask turned on. And obviously, as you move your cursor, those information kind of bubbles are going to just change as you move across time. But that is one way to kind of get some things set up inside of your chart settings. But you can keep going and going into the scale. You can just change this all on. You can change scale. That's, again, this is some of the stuff we just talked about in the little kind of lower menu right here. You can change the indicators on and off, values, no overlapping, all those. The bar, it's just a quicker way to get through it right there. The time and date format are there for you to configure as well. And then you go ahead, you can change the layout and size and color of the background. If you really want to make it pop and get a little bit harder on the eyes, you can do that. You can toggle the grid lines on and off as well. Even the crosshair can change and kind of be updated based on what your preference is. You can make it a little bit thicker if your eyes are a little bit worsening if you're getting a little bit older like I am. Kind of hard to drive at night sometimes. This helps me kind of see things if my crosshair is a little bit bigger. You can have a watermark if you want to turn on a watermark and know what you're showing in the back of your chart. You can do that as well, and just kind of go through and play some of these settings just to see how you're like you want to set up your chart. One thing that I will say is that there's no way to save this as a kind of default setting. If you want this to be your actual chart setting, you can't save it yet. There's not a way that I found to be able to do that. So to change this back and just make sure, because if you do all these changes, you set it all up nice and perfect, and then you don't have a way to kind of save it, it's kind of frustrating, which I understand. Hopefully they make this part of the functionality. But if I go back to this little gear icon right here, I can go to template down at the bottom, and I can go apply defaults. And that's going to kick me back to the very basic way this is set up, which is a good thing because you can go back and just revert to everything that you had before and get back there. So that's how you do that. Just again, make sure if you're going to customize everything and save, just there's no way to kind of save a template for the colors and the layout. There is for your indicators and your chart setup, it's not for the layout itself. Next, I want to show you the drawing tools feature. Here, this bar on the left-hand side, starting with first just your cursor. You have 4 options for your cursor. Your dot right there, it's going to show you, you can see how it changes. You can go arrow, you can go eraser, right? And just kind of have these kind of things floating around. Then you have these little trend line tabs right there where you can pop this open and see the different trend lines that are available. I'm going to go through a couple that I really like to use that are very powerful that I find just help me with my trading. First one is obviously the trend line right there. Left click somewhere on the page, extend your line right there. If it doesn't show up as a yellow dotted line, you can configure that if you want that to be your standard, but this is a much improved feature compared to the old Interactive Brokers charts. You can click this little icon right here to kind of change the color. You can change it, the thickness, you can change the line style. You can also even go in and just click the settings and just click on a little button right here for text. You go ahead and say, I want this to be my upwards trend line. And you can add text to this line. Then you can just set for the alignment. Let's go bottom, let's go right-hand side, and you can see that this is going to be bolded now. We're going to make this text red to match the line. You can see there, okay, now you have upwards trend line. You can just have that on there as a reminder for why you drew the trend line, or maybe just to help you with your trading. The other one I really like to use is just a horizontal ray. Wherever I go and click inside the chart next, it's going to draw a horizontal ray for me. Let's go right there, Ray Charles style. Boom, this blue line shows up. We're going to make it yellow. We're going to make it a little bit thinner, and we're just going to have that there and say this is going to be, again, you can add the text if you want to. Make sure you toggle that on, top end area, and just put that on right there. Now you've got this top end area in blue shown right there. You can manipulate that as you see fit. Next up, we've got this little bar area right here, and this is all for some of your kind of interactive retracements, your kind of momentum studies, any kind of these little, I don't even know what some of these are, honestly, Gann squares, Gann fan, just resistance areas right here. Go through these. I use Fibonacci's never, so I just know that they can pop open and look pretty cool based on different demand and supply areas. So if you do use those kind of things, they're available to you now. Very simply click and drag, boom, you know how to set them up. I don't use them, so you can use them and just add them if you want to, manipulate them again with different colors, size, and you can just change a whole bunch of different things inside the actual settings area for these different kind of studies. You've got a paintbrush for drawing some cool stuff right there, some freehand stuff. That's a nice feature. You can highlight as well. You can do different things that way. Rectangles, you can draw circles, you can draw any kind of different shapes you want to have there. Double S curve, that sounds pretty cool. Ooh, that's a pretty nice one right there. Boom, let's do that. And then obviously if you want to kind of quickly just take these off, you can go out to this trash can again. You just say, hey, remove all my indicators or just remove all my drawings. Let's remove the drawings right now. That's going to take away your trend lines as well and anything that you've drawn on the page. Fourth on the list there, you have text. This one's pretty self-explanatory. You can have callouts though that are pretty cool and just add text right there like that. If you want to just have blanket straight text, you can just have that and do it that way right there. And again, you can manipulate that in the settings area, which you've seen now a couple times. If you want to have kind of just some flag areas, you can put a nice little flag on here. Flag, boom. If that's maybe a start date or like a high point, you can have a little flag if you want to, just to kind of jazz it up a little bit, make the chart a little bit more visually appealing. Then you've got your patterns. If you want to go in here and use some patterns, Elliott waves, triple waves. I like to use the ABCD pattern once in a while. Just go boom, click in, boom, boom. That's not an actual ABCD, but you know what I'm saying. You can go in there and it's going to show you kind of the areas, the legs, and you can customize these as well with different things, add some labels if you want to. I'm going to just go to the trash can and dump these again. Boom, 4 drawings gone. As we continue down this, you can go in there to get some emojis. Who doesn't want a nice smiley emoji on their chart, just saying, hey, have a wonderful trading day. Put that guy in the bottom. It kind of reminds me of like Baby Bowser and Mario back in the day, little kind of a helicopter thing with the leaf they were flying around in, but just have emoji right there if you want to greet you with your trading. And this is a really cool icon right there, the measuring tool. You can measure from kind of the bottom of a wick if you want to. Click once, drag. It's going to give you an area with bars, days, volume, and then the percentage increase or decrease. If you want to go downwards, click it again. You can go downwards. It's going to show up in red, showing you the way to go down and showing you the measuring tool right there for what's changed in that time period. Pretty cool feature right there. Next up, we've got the zoom tool. So we click this little zoom magnifying glass and we just go 1 click, 2 click. We can zoom into this area in the chart. You can click the negative magnifying glass to zoom out, which is a pretty standard icon that you may have seen before. Just the closer you go, the quicker it's going to kind of zoom in, the further you're going to go. You can also go undo, and that's going to pop you back out as well when you're talking about the zoom. If you want to put this magnet icon on, you have the ability to go weak and strong magnet. I'm just going to put weak on and show you what this does. It's going to snap everything to little trend lines and points on the bar chart. So if you go ahead and just do this and go up, and you're going to see how it snaps to those points right now. Try to make things a little bit easier for you with your trading. You can obviously go strong, and it's going to kind of just vary here in this open space. But if you were to put a trend line on without that on, you could go in here and just go boom, and you're going to be able to select anywhere inside there. But if you have the magnet on, let's go strong this time, it's going to really limit where you can actually click. It's going to really kind of take it right to those points and just have you kind of straight on the different candlesticks and bars here that you're going to be able to kind of click to. The next two tools I don't really use ever. It's the stay in drawing mode, and there's a lock all drawing tools. I don't really use those at all. I go back and just kind of skip over them. If you want to explore those a little bit further, please feel free to do so at your own leisure. This next one here is just hide all drawings and indicators. I use this one a little bit. You can hide the drawings. You can also hide the indicators, and you can do both if you want to hide all, just to make the chart a little bit cleaner, a little bit quicker, and then click here again to put it all back really quickly. One other way to do this without using this little eye over here, you can use the object tree and just have the layers of the drawing shown, and the object tree is going to show you exactly what you have on in this drawing right now. So if I want to take this trend line right there, it's actually going to highlight it over here and show you those two blue dots. If I click on my emoji, same thing. If I click on the trend line there, it's going to show you, just give you the kind of quick hitter where it's at and highlight it here on the scale as well. I can turn that off. I can turn it back on. I can lock it. I can, which means it's not going to move, right? It's not movable anymore. If I click here and try to move it, I can't. If I want to take it off, I can click the X and remove. I can also just do that for a couple of them, turn a couple off, right? Turn the flag off, turn this off, and you can control it from your object tree as well if you wanted to do that. There's some settings in here for your object tree to kind of clone, copy, create a group of drawings and move it to somewhere else. If you want to do that, you can also take this and turn that off as well. Turn your bar chart off to have the kind of the lines there, and maybe do some technical analysis that way based on some trend lines instead of the candles or the bars showing up. So I'm going to clean this chart up by just going trash can, remove everything, remove all the stuff, and we're going to go back and we're going to go to AMD again. I'm going to show you how to trade from the chart. We're going to close down the object here by clicking the little kind of stack of papers up here, and now we have the ability to hit this little button. This little button allows us to place an order anywhere we click and drag up here to place an order and trade from the chart. So if I want to buy AMD or sell AMD, I just click this little button. It's going to pop up and say, hey, do I want to buy AMD at 133 or sell AMD at 133? So let's say I want to sell this time. I have some AMD shares, let's say, and it's going to pop open a default limit order at 133.02. You can go ahead and drag that down if you want to. Let's say I want to go right here at 132 and get right on it. You can click it, open it up, change the order a little bit. It's not an actual order in your account yet. It's just like a potential. You have to transmit it to make it a real order. You can change the order type in here as well, from limit to market to mid, whatever you want to do. Time and force as well is in here to be edited as well. Outstanding quantity, you can edit that. Right, let's go back to 100 shares. And then you have the ability to kind of just preview it. It's going to pull up some of that margin information, your equity, your loan, your price. You can click transmit there, or if you want to, again, you can click transmit, or you can click dismiss. You also have the ability up here to allow this to be filled outside of RTH, regular trading hours. Click that on if you want. Pre-open, overnight, if you want to specify if just the morning or just the afternoon sessions after the evenings, you can do that as well. So if you transmit this now, that's going to now be in the hopper. And if we go back and flip back to our order area, we can see here that I have an AMD sell limit order of 132 in the hopper. I'm just going to cancel that right now to take that off. Now, if you're trying to trade from the chart and you don't see this plus button there, make sure you go down to this little toggle menu that we looked at before. Make sure plus button is checked on. Right now, you can see I don't have anything on there, no ability to trade on the chart, just technical analysis at this point. Click this little guy on, plus button, then you go ahead and make a trade. I'm going to go down here. Let's go buy micro devices right there. And then again, click that open, transmit. Once you have a trade in the hopper, if you want to close it down, it's showing on the chart, you can click the little X button and you can close it down and take it off. One other thing I want to walk you through here is how to make multiple charts at the same time with different stocks showing different things in different time periods. You can do that with advanced charts, which is a pretty powerful way to trade. I'm going to close this guy down. We're going to come back in here and go to a new tab here in the bottom corner. We're going to go multiple advanced charts, create. And now we can just go and load these up. New window, boom, chart, advanced. Okay. New window, boom, chart, advanced. New window, boom, chart, advanced. Now you get the picture right now. I'm going to do 3, 4 of these, let's say, chart, advanced chart. And as these load in, I'm just going to rip these guys a little bit higher, Okay, bring them down low. And to do this, to make sure that they all show different information, you got to make sure this chain link is turned off to no group. So I'm going to do that real quick. Now that that's all done, I'm going to change this one to AMD to Walmart. I'm going to change this guy to Nike. I'm going to change this one to Tesla or the SPY, let's say. I'm going to go this one to a 5-minute chart. Nike's going to a 30-minute chart, and it's going to go into a line chart. And Walmart's going to be going into, let's say, 2 hours, bars with an indicator. Let's do that. Now you can see you have all these different charts, different styles laid out, and to save them, we just want to make sure we have this locked in here like that. And now that's a template we're going to have down there. Anytime we want to go into our trading area, we have these multiple charts showing different indicators, different stocks, different timelines. You can zoom in and out. Now they're not linked at all. You can go and just do different trading. You can actually trade from all these as well inside Interactive Brokers Advanced Charts with this template at the bottom. Now that you've seen how the advanced charting works in Interactive Brokers, maybe you want to have an account of your own. To do so and set one up and get some free stock from IB, you can use the affiliate link in the description for this video. And also, if you want to see how I set up my own trading account inside Interactive Brokers, all the settings, all the charting, all the features for the options chain, if you're an options trader, you can check that out in this video right here.